Hi guys, I'm Alex Holmstrom, and this is the Alex at Bat podcast. When it comes to anything to do with athletics, highlights, big plays, anything sports related, we will always be at bat. In today's episode, we are going to discuss our divisional playoff round reaction, and we got Jason Holmstrom as well on the show again.
All right, so I guess I'll kick it off with getting your thoughts about the Niners versus the Cowboys game. I gotta say, I'm as an Eagles fan, slightly sad that the Cowboys didn't win that one because I would have loved to have seen an Eagles Cowboys game at home for the NFC Championship, but Niners came away with a victory. Not completely unscathed though. A lot of people felt that Shanahan, I guess it was at the end of the first half, started to run the clock out. I think he ran out like 25 seconds of the clock before he called his second timeout, and they caught a lot of flack for that. I think because a lot of Niners fans, especially, I heard a lot of four-letter words were being thrown Shanahan's way by the Twitter world. Specifically from Niners fans because they felt like he could have gotten the touchdown. What were your thoughts about that? As far as smart, dumb, who cares? They won anyway. What's your opinion?
I think the thing about that is that when you're in the NFL, the thing you want to do is win. You're playing to win. I think the way how they handled it was kind of like playing to lose. But a lot of people don't agree with me on that probably because they won the game, and that didn't matter anyways. But I feel like that the game could have been like maybe like 14 points if they could score that touchdown, and then it would have been like a tougher game for the Dallas Cowboys to even have a chance to win that game if they score. So I definitely think that was a turning point, but that still did not. I don't think that had anything to do with like the 49ers having a chance to lose this game. But I definitely think that he should have played to win, not played for a field goal. You should always try to score a touchdown first. I definitely have to think about that.
I think you say people would definitely disagree with you. I think that a lot of people would actually agree with you. I think a lot of Niners fans were on that same kind of boat with you. Why do you think he opted to do that?
I think he opted to do that. So there was obviously less than 2 minutes. So, like, in the NFL, there's a thing called the 2-minute drill.
Right.
Where you usually have 2 minutes before the end of the game. You got 2 minutes at the end of quarters or anything like that. And I know they were playing the 2-minute drill, but on 2-minute drills, your first thing should be a touchdown. Unless if you have, like a team that you're trying to keep the ball away from. But, like, there was, like, less than a minute left. I would see no reason to not try to score a touchdown on that drive. I'd see, and I would see, honestly, it would have put the Cowboys in a tougher position to win that game.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. I mean, I guess the logic from what I'm reading online is that Shanahan felt he was playing it safe. And he was playing it safe ironically because he felt the Cowboys would do to them what they would do if they were in the same position, meaning that the Cowboys get the ball, they will aggressively go after that touchdown. So he took a more defensive mind against that and let that clock run out. The only problem with that, did you see how like it almost like they almost didn't get the field goal? Did you see that part of it?
I definitely saw that part where like they were like struggling to like even get in field goal range. I definitely think if you're in that situation, like let's just say like it was the fourth quarter and you're in that situation. If you are a good offense, you need to call like a lot of like big pass plays. You don't want to call like a lot of like short plays, just moving down the field because just of time.
Yeah, and they converted on that 3rd-and-1 play. So I mean, they did get some momentum going. But I guess I was referring to the Brock Purdy. I mean, confident dude. Nobody doubts his level of confidence. A lot of teammates have made comments about it, especially for a late round draft pick like he is. but he ran that clock down to 1 second before he threw the ball away. So they almost, it was like they were playing that defensive game, but then that almost backfired on them because then the quarterback almost let the clock run out. So let the clock run out too much. It almost came back and bit them. So, but they came out with the field goal. So, and they came out with the win. So I don't know. You can argue back and forth. Niners fans can be upset. I think that they were more upset at the half than they were at the end of the game, obviously, because they came away with the win. And now we get to see the Eagles play the Niners. Speaking of being upset, but not really upset, the Bengals. I wanted to talk a little bit about Joe Burrows, your man, or Burrow, your guy. Made kind of a comment that I found pretty humorous. In his interview with CBS, he was talking about the need for the NFL to put out a lot of refunds for that neutral game ticket.
Yeah.
So, what were your feelings on that? I mean, do you think that did that put a chip on their shoulder that helped power them through in the Bills game?
I definitely gotta agree. I think they've been ever since that like whole NFL thing that happened like after the DeMar Hamlin injury, where like all their playoff chances they were not going to get the number 1 seed because they didn't play all the 17 games. I know that was definitely like I know that they didn't have a chance at the number 1 seed, so I know they were more hungry in the playoffs. I knew that after this game, it's just like all these little things that the NFL is trying to do is just motivating to win. And like honestly, a lot of people didn't expect the Bills to lose as they did on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I think I don't think anybody. Well, a lot of people weren't expecting that because I know that Josh Allen in his career, albeit a short one, he hasn't lost at home in postseason. So he's a beast in Buffalo. I guess you could argue they have a home field advantage, plus they got the weather going for them. Not that Cincinnati cares about cold weather because they're cold too. It's not like the Dolphins are coming into town to play. But, I mean, I almost wonder at the end of the day, do you get mad that people aren't respecting you, or are you happy to carry that chip on your shoulder to use it as motivation? Like, do you think it ended up being a good thing, or do you think they should still be kind of upset about it?
It's actually funny you brought this up. This honestly reminds me of the Eagles the year they won the Super Bowl, where they were the number 1 seed. They were playing the Falcons and the Vikings and the Patriots all in the postseason, and they were underdogs that whole season. Like, I mean, pretty much the whole season. Like, no one believed that they were going to win any of those playoff games, and they come out and beat all those teams, and that's what it kind of reminds me of. But I know they were obviously sort of like underdogs. People were saying that the Bengals got zero chance. Now they're selling tickets because they, probably think that the Bills are going to win this one.
Yeah, they thought the Bills were going to win, and the Bills were going to have a tied record with the Chiefs, so they couldn't actually get one home field advantage. So I think they were going to have it down in Atlanta. So some people very well might have bought some tickets to go see a Chiefs-Bills game down in Atlanta, which obviously isn't happening. The game is going back to Arrowhead Stadium. Now, I don't know the exact statistics, but I know that the Bengals have kicked some Chief butt the past couple times. Yeah, I know. So it's like underdog, but with an asterisk, And the big elephant in the room is, they might be an underdog, but with a lesser record. But when it comes to playing that specific team, the record speaks for itself. What is it, like three wins in their past meetings?
So, they won 3. They're 3-0. Joe Burrows 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. And that's funny to say because most teams are never undefeated against Patrick Mahomes just because this is our 5th AFC Championship game, 5 straight years. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that, Joe Burrow knows the way how to beat Patrick Mahomes since he's done it 3 times.
It does seem like they have
I think they do have a chance of winning this game for sure. especially what they did to Josh Allen. If they do the same thing to Patrick Mahomes, and I know that injury, people are saying that he might not be 100% this game after that injury after the Jaguars game, which they actually ended up coming out with a win. But I honestly can't see that being the reason for Patrick Mahomes, since he's done all these he's just done all these impressive things pretty much. But I definitely think that the Bengals do have a chance of winning this game, since Joe Burrow just knows how to beat the Chiefs. And he knows pretty much how to, the ways on how to do it. What you have to do. Because, if you play a team multiple times, not really multiple times, but if you beat the team multiple times, then you understand how to beat, and you know how to beat them in important games, even games that are going to hopefully bring you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of coaching. I won't pretend to, but I know that you should never sleep on Andy Reid. So I know him and his staff. And we talked about that chip on your shoulder. Like, the Bengals had that chip on their shoulder because, they were the underdog. They were selling tickets. Tickets were being sold to a game that implied that they had lost already before they even played. So, huge chip on their shoulder. And even though, are technically the Chiefs considered the favorites? They have to be, right? They're, even though with the losses, they still have a better record. So, underdog, favorite, whatever, they're still the top seed. So, Chiefs are top seed. However, that top seed, I think, has a chip on their shoulder. When you get your butts kicked or spanked by one team 3 times in the past 3 meetings, you got to be the one with the chip on your shoulder. So I wonder, you talk about motivation. I think the Bengals are going to say they have a chip on their shoulder. The Chiefs are going to say they have a chip on their shoulder. I'm curious to see how that motivation plays out. Obviously, the coaching is going to make adjustments. Reed's going to come up with his counterattack. Zach Taylor. Is it Zach Taylor?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor's going to come up with his counter to the counter, all that stuff. But it's going to be interesting. Before we wrap this up, I know we might have other podcasts before Sunday, but I'm curious to get your prediction on who you think's actually going to meet up in the Super Bowl.
That is a very good question. I definitely have a good feeling that the Eagles are going to do it. And I know the 49ers are good, but I don't think most people actually know this. I don't think there's ever been a rookie quarterback that actually made a Super Bowl. So that obviously is going to put a chip on the Eagles' shoulder. But who knows? Maybe this could be the first time. But in my honest opinion, I think the Eagles and the Chiefs will make the Super Bowl this year. And I think it's going to be a good one. Coach Reed coaching the Super Bowl against his former team. Wow, that would be a good one. The Kelsey brothers, Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey. The center for the Eagles, Jason Kelsey. Tight end, Travis Kelsey.
Jason's last year, right? Is this his last year?
Well, he signed that contract, and I believe it expires at the end of this year.
Yeah.
But I was actually surprised he came back this year, to be quite honest, just because of his age. So I would definitely have to, at this point, I don't even know what's gonna happen with Jason Kelsey.
Do you know how old he is?
I actually don't even remember how old, but I know he's past his 30 age and stuff. But he's definitely still good of a player. So
33.
That probably somewhere around that age.
He's probably younger than that, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, so there are a couple really good storylines. I'm going to say, with my completely non-expert opinion, I'm going to say that the Bengals spank the Chiefs by 14. And I know that's crazy, but, I can say it because I'm not an expert. And I'm going to say that there is a dogfight in Philly with the Niners, but the Eagles win by 3.
I definitely agree. I know the Eagles are going to be able to. I don't think they're just going to be able to do like they did last week against the Giants.
They're not steamrolling. They're not steamrolling. Not with that Niners defense.
Oh no, they're not. They're not going to just to be able to sweep them and be an easy win. This is going to be a game where they're going to have to play good on offense and defense and have to play for 4 quarters. Because if they don't play for 4 quarters, they could possibly lose. And then you see, obviously, Brock Purdy, the rookie quarterback, going to the Super Bowl. So, I think that if the Eagles want to win, they have to play for 4 quarters. I think if the And I also think for the Bengals and Chiefs game, if the Chiefs want to play, if the Chiefs if the Chiefs win, they would have to do is play well, obviously on offense, not turn the ball over, and Joe Burrow. I would say for Bengals to make the Super Bowl, I think that Joe Burrow needs a lot of protection from his offensive line. I think they only allowed like 1 sack last week.
Yeah, they looked great.
They looked great, and they need to do that against the Chiefs.
I don't know much to look for in the Bengals game, but I'm always looking at that O-line because I know they have such a horrible reputation. They got just demolished by the Rams last year, and then we tried to do like a reworking of it this year, and then, an excuse, I guess, for them. They had a lot of injuries, right, to their O-line.
That is correct.
So they're beat up, but they looked great against the Bills, especially in that cold weather.
Agreed. I definitely feel like that. If they want to make it to the Super Bowl, they have to be able to protect Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, he's played great with even a bad offensive line and almost beat a really good defensive line in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
But I think they just need to protect him. I think the defense needs to be able to make stops on third down and get off the field on third down and frustrate Patrick Mahomes to win this game.
Yeah, talking about Patrick Mahomes, I'll tell you what the Chiefs have to do to win is for Patrick Mahomes to be healthy, because I wonder about that high ankle sprain apparently he might be walking around with. So have you heard anything about that? Like any updates?
I really just heard
Not
recently.
That they would tell anybody about it.
Yeah, so the thing I heard recently is about he had the high ankle sprain, even though he ended up finishing the game.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah,
nobody's doubting that. I'm just wondering, the adrenaline wears off, and then all of a sudden he's limping around. And he's like, dang, this actually hurts.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that that might end up happening through the game, but I honestly think that it's going to be hard for me to be like, oh yeah, that's why the Bengals are just going to go into the Arrowhead Stadium, just be able to demolish them just because of Patrick Mahomes' injury. I don't think that's going to be the case, just because how tough the Chiefs are.
Yeah.
With Andy Reid, somehow Andy Reid, oh my God, he can just find ways to win. He could probably he found a way to win 2 years ago with Chad Henne, finishing the game when Patrick Mahomes got injured. He just finds ways to win. But I know the Bengals are very aware on how to beat them. But Andy Reid, you can't just be like, oh yeah, we beat them 3 times. We're gonna beat them again.
Yeah, no, and I don't think the Bengals are naive in the sense that they think they're coming in and they're gonna steamroll and
entertainment.
Absolutely, yeah, they're hyping it up. I wouldn't even doubt that the NFL sold the tickets just to get a little controversy brewing there. Just a little marketing scheme, but should be fun to watch. So yeah, we'll stay tuned, and I don't know, maybe do another podcast before that starts. Definitely one after to talk about who's going to the Super Bowl and what we think based on what we saw in the NFC AFC championship round, who we think is going to win in the big show. So
that'll definitely be something to talk about.
Right.
This is the end of our podcast episode. We got Jason and Alex Holmstrom signing off. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. See you next episode. Goodbye.